Well, that's a wonderful start. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Asylum. I'm Sir Khan Talk a lot. In last episode, we met Dr. Miller finally, and we learned about the tunnel and the excavation being done down in the basement. Well, there has to be a connection to Lovecraft horror. So right now, we're going back to the second floor and look around even more. Because I know essentially where this is gonna go. We last time we discovered that Hogswell, or whatever his name was, Hodgson, I think. He was the guy who experienced unusual burns on his body without any explanation. He swallowed the music box key inside of and his body is in the morgue. But for right now, my character does not know that or doesn't want to do that. Because as soon as his tasks are... Yeah, I remember the past, get the music box. In my vision, Barton seemed to react to another quickly winding music box. What an odd pattern he was scribbling, stimulated in a strange way, prompting him. It was positive that I had seen the music box somewhere else before. Find a spring. According to the infallible dream I experienced in the cell, the patient next to him couldn't stand the nursery rhyme for the music box and thus seemingly swallowed his wind-up key. How could I possibly recover the item? Well, you can recover the item by digging it through his body, of course. Which is, I'm not gonna lie, a bit fucked up. Where's the morgue? Or as his body was in E103 or something? No, not this one. That's his body, and right now my character doesn't want to do anything about that. I figured this out through the book. All right, he doesn't want to do anything about it right now, so I guess I'll just moving around and seeing what else is on the floor. Yes, I thought Lenny is done. Alright, so this will get us to rehabilitation, psychiatric, operating room A, B, 2C hallway, hydrotherapy? I don't know what this is, office. Alright. Rehabilitation. There's a note there. Okay, exhausted and disappointed by the last session, I decided to take a walk outside in the yard to clear my mind. It was sunny afternoon, more peaceful than usual, with patients aimlessly wandering on the grass, all of them lost in their own absent-minded business. A soothing ambience, if a bit eerie, which helped me calm my nerves. Among those patients seemingly enjoying the blissful yard, rare moment was Leonard, who was more talkative than usual with his peers, clearly influenced by the same kind of haunting aura that I felt in the air. There's something about him that makes me even more irritated about the aggression in my group. Leonard was so close to being discharged from the institute. As I approached him in hopes of having a more open conversation than our therapy session usually did a striking detail that I had missed earlier. Thanks to the duller lighting of the therapy room, stopped me in my track. There was a noticeable rash across his ankle, running from his foot up to the bottom of his gown. Leonard seemed to have repeatedly scratched himself, and quite recently too, judging by the shiny red spot sprinkled across his skin. Puzzled about this, I mentioned to get my patient's attention, but noticed yet another curious aspect of his appearance. His gown was overly dirty, although this fact itself was irritatingly usual by now. However, it wasn't just dirt, some sort of splotches of organic matter, as if Leonard had rubbed himself against a moldy wall. My initial guess was that he simply laid down on the grassy grounds of the yard to have some rest, but there was something about the texture of those stains that still intrigued me. They had a certain glittering nature to them, like the trail a slug would leave, and the color wasn't quite green either, as in reminiscent of grass, but a shade similar to turquoise. I took Leonard to my office so I could ask him a few questions in private. The organic stuff that I obtained from Leonard's gown has proven to be more bewildering than I imagined. It is of fungoid origin as suspected, yet seems to be exceedingly rare. While this is far from my area of expertise, there is no question this sample is something quite unique. Its properties indicate that it can only thrive in warm, humid environments, which are unlike the condition of our region. We are blessed with dry weather throughout the years, however, that means this mold, fungus, is some kind of deep undergrowth, and somehow Leonard has gotten close to it. I left a cotton swab impregnated with this stuff next to the one of those lab rats. Evidence dictates that the presence of this material caused a visible rash on Leonard's body, so a mere small quantity should produce a marked change in such a little critter. Something happened to the rat. I can't put my finger on what that is, but the rat is behaving differently. No visible physical alteration of the note, but something not the same. Could it be? Is it a carcinogenic? A number of mold species produce toxins that can cause various health problems, and the worst of which can ultimately include liver and lung cancer, as well as invasive diseases, especially in small children, the elderly, and the people with weak immune systems. The most toxic mold known to date is thought to be the black mold, or I'm not reading that, which can cause general respiratory problems, especially if one has asthma or allergies, but may be linked to lung cancer. But none of this applies to our case. Moreover, some poisonous mushrooms are known to cause organ failure, but none of them have been proven to invasive to this extent. There's the death caps, and rather romantically named destroying angels. In the realm of plant, of course, the Taropa belladonna, but that's basically poison. It doesn't stimulate malignant growth, while some species of mushroom contain naturally produced carcinogens. These exist only in a minute amount and cannot directly cause cancer, and yet there are pre-reviewed records of unusual, goddamn these words, unliteralius, which is a pathogenic fungus, although it only attacks insects. It is a parasitic indeed and did something to the rat, but no, that's impossible. There are no records of such thing anywhere in the world. If what I suspect is true, the carcinoma has an effect akin to hallucination drug. If Leonard come close to it, maybe the rest. Oh my god. Well, there's a fungal growth somewhere, and something is happening here. Alright. Yes, I'm playing it a little after a while. Oh, there are more documents? What the fuck? Alright, rehabilitation session. Morning report. A number of patients exhibited injuries of varying severity and unknown origin. It is recommended that they continue with a more extensive round of rehabilitation session to avoid the worsening conditions. As usual, we will continue with the session sorted by cell number. Cell 101A. Patient is well, no special care. 102, cellmate Barton and William Hodgson presented a marked deterioration in their condition. Loretta is growing increasingly tense, and Nurse Marion noticed a number of bruises in his body. A new episode in which he falls into a sort of catatonic state, unable to respond to stimulation. Hodgson is similarly more on the edge than usual and presented a serious burns on his chest that no one could explain. We recommend strict supervision. Cell 105A. We detected another fracture in Leonard's ankle. None of the staff can explain how it happened. They are aware of his osteogenesis, and extreme care was already enforced. 2 sessions each day are recommended. Noon report. Cell 102. Cellmate had some kind of crawler over a music box that Loretta enjoyed, but made Hodgson nervous. As described by Marion, in the struggle, Hodgson retrieved a spring from the device and immediately swallowed it. The patient was immediately taken to the operating room, but the surgeon deemed too dangerous to perform the excision in his current condition. High blood pressure must be managed before administering anesthesia. Evening report. Cell 102. Hodgson died of a heart attack during his session. and nothing could be done lower his pressure. Before passing away, the specialist reported that the heart rate so high in the chest was visibly throbbing violently. The deceased has been taken to the morgue. Cell 105. Crawford has developed chronic asthma. Traces of ashes and dirt were found across his body, recommending increased supervision of daily wandering, and the patient stays asleep with lights on, which bothers Leonard. Hodgson was that patient who swallowed the wind-up key in the vision. Finally, my character is picking on. Alright, eventually I will need to go to the morgue. Eventually, I said. Will Hodgson. Profile: William Hodgson, a robust man with ragged facial features. Half of his face is covered in severe burn scars. Where the fuck did they come from? God only knows. He fell victim to the intensive fire as a child, the result of being neglected by his parents. Ever since that event, Hodgson experienced acute panic attacks whenever when the subject of fire surfaces in any given conversation, an inevitable occurrence that has resulted in psychogenic non-telepathic seizures and uncontrollable crying. Such reactions are in stark contrast with his imposing look, yet Hodgson has unfortunately become a slave to his irrational fear. However, this patient can be equally pacific and mellow, routinely obeying orders and staying out of trouble. Specialists have determined that his condition is reserved. While he shows promise, he is slow and exhibits difficulty reasoning and learning far more than his peer. Hodgson is lucky to have a formidable voice that commands a sense of respect, which has fooled high-risk patients who would otherwise have taken advantage of him. Good thing he has some sort of... yeah, the ankle fracture. So that must be for Leonard or Leonard. Okay, typical. What else? Wheelchair. What's that? One pair of crutches. Okay, I think I'm done here. There doesn't seem to be anything else here to do here. Okay, find Hodgson body. Now we can do that. According to the list, Hodgson remains right here in the morgue. This one, I think. With a bit of effort, I managed to hook up the body bag. The button was stuck. I think I can do anything here. So what exactly do I have to do? Okay. I feel like I'm doing something very illegal. The body should be decayed by now, right? I have to gather strength and open this bag. I agree with you, bud. But how are you gonna do that? Okay, maybe it's from that side. Oh boy, he looks okay. Yeah. That's what I'm doing is fucking illegal. I have a scalpel? That should be a letter opener. What am I doing? Yeah, wait, I used a letter opener. Why is he using a scalpel? And how long has he been dead for? Ah, Lord, he's using his hands. Where is he pulling it out from? Was it just inside his body? Oh no! What the fuck? I was expecting him to wake up once again in another terrifying vision. I need to get away from this morgue. Sure, close. Yo, you don't goddamn tell me. Due to my being on the edge, the wind-up key had fallen into the drain. Where was the damn wind-up key? Where does this drain go? Aren't you gonna pack up the body? Oh, don't tell me you're just gonna leave it here. That's incriminating evidence. Well, this kind of sucks. Now I need to find a way to get this stick open. Oh, that's how it worked. Right, the tunnel. Alright, I'm in the sewers now. Alright, I thought running away and leaving for some place. Alright, what about this thing? The sewer extended for who knew how long. It was impossible to proceed anyway. The gate at the end of the sewer seemed to open only under certain conditions, possibly related to water pressure. The tube seemed to indicate the water level that I presume was a septic tank. I took the valve with me. Well, most of these are broken. Ah, look at that. I found where it goes. I wonder what that did. Drain the septic tank. Balcony, sewers, greenhouse, balcony, and hydro something. Greenhouse, balcony, and hydro. Okay. Well, you know what? I should write these down. So if you guys haven't guessed the puzzle here, I have to go to this location and use the valve to release the pressure. That will drain the septic tank. And that will give me the key I need. So right now I'm gonna go up and I need to go back to the first floor where I think most of the locations are at, and then I have to study the map to see where I have to go next. Simple enough. Alright, so this place has offices. No, what the god damn it. Okay, why can't I look up? That's the first place I have to go. Rehabilitation, psychiatry. Where the hell is the balcony? All right. Which room is that? Going down. If I'm going down right here, it should be on my right, next to offices. Last time I went to rehabilitation. Okay, psychiatric does not open. Operating room A. Something about this place sent shiver down my spine. There was a hint of dread in the air thanks to the part to the freaking mechanical apparatus ringing above the room. I don't know what you're talking about. It's probably here for the shock therapy. Okay, blood and organic material. Ooh. A regular syringe. Oh, okay. So he's sticking out his hand. The manic guy in the high risk, who has the music box, is sticking out his hand. So I guess I have to find a drug that can make him pass out. Hydrochloric acid. That's the only thing I can grab. To be used, and the newer condition, rest of the item piqued in my interest. The label said hydrochloric acid. I nearly returned it to shelf, but decided to keep it around for now. Hydrochloric acid. Can it dissolve chains? I highly doubt anything important will be here. Just checking. It was not possible to analyze organic material in a slide glass. The machine, it seems to be self-operated, seemingly designed to perform biopsy. But what will I supposed to do with it? That's right, you have no idea what to do with this all. Can't open that either. So yeah, let's get out of here. Sedative. Oh yeah. Alright, we found the thing we needed. The syringe were now filled with sedative. Alright. Alright, nothing empty. A medical appliance for mark of enduring pain. Okay. Destroyed radiographs could be placed here. Ooh, there's something to read. Breakthrough experimental surgery. Not important, I presume. The current invention led to controversy. Some scientists and surgeons believe that using such machinery would increase the possibility of brain hemorrhage. As accurate, questionable, Dr. Hanwell dismissed this opinion as uninformed, stating that the targeting mechanism of the machine was based on the most detailed brain atlas of the time, that the Starbay was manufactured by most trusted and reputable professionals. It was a shock therapy, most likely. I think I got most of what I needed here. What the fuck is this place? The same gross condition. Alright, anyway, I think I have to be here. Where's the valve? There it is. Oh, there we go. Another objective done. Okay, the mistreatment of patient in renowned hospital. Several nurses who prefer to remain anonymous have filed further complaints about the egregious abuse of patients by the authorities at Hanwell Mental Institute. This has led to tense atmosphere of quarrel and accusation among the employees inside the one respectable institution. Law enforcement officials, apprised of this situation, spent several hours yesterday evening searching the mental hospital. While no evidence of wrongdoing were found, they provide details during the press conference about rapidly decaying state of the building and expressed concern for the safety of the patients. Injuries exhibited by allegedly mistreated patients could not be attributed to particular source. Wounds range from severe bruises and cuts to violent fractures and, in the worst case, searing burn marks. The family members of the patient and employees demanded more severe intervention by the state authorities. Dr. Hanwell whose disinterest in discussing these grave allegations with no media borders on offensive, did not respond to our inquiries, tarnishing his public image beyond repair. The most electric you'll read today. So I guess Dr. Miller did say that he was a very closed-off person, didn't like talking to people. So maybe that's why he didn't bother answering any questions. If I remember, this is locked. Operating, this should be locked. No, it's not. Yeah, but I have really no reason to be here. Okay, I'm in the female one. First floor, external. Deposit, male, female. Yeah, I have really no reason to be here. So I think I'm just gonna go... Hold up. What was that vision? Rumors. That didn't deserve my attention. Okay. So is this the balcony? I wonder. Lonely wheelchair. Where the fuck am I? Oh, I'm here. Also, where's Bruno? Alright, he's passed out. My guy takes his good time taking out every goddamn item. Yep. Oh, there he is. Alright, finally. Music box for my vision, Barnett cell. The music board that had triggered the reaction from Bernard looks like some kind of chapter in his memory. Alright, I'm here. Oh, look at that. That's the balcony. It was not identified on the map. Alright, there we go. So the balcony is also done. Only thing is left is the greenhouse. Which might be God knows where. I feel like I'm missing something really obvious. The morgue is directly above the laundry room. Where was the damn wind-up key? The current was strong, carrying the wind-up key somewhere else. Damn the skies, I realized the water had carried the wind-up key through the pipe. Where could it go? Oh, I opened the water from here. The water seemed clean. Okay. Okay, so okay, clean syringe. Anyway, so the water is... Wait, now I think it might be in the bathroom down below. Well, that was a shit puzzle game. Well, I got the key now. Time to head back into the cells. Alright, finally. It's about damn time. See, this is what I meant. It's supernatural somewhat. I had drawn a strange pattern on the floor. I felt like I had seen it before. While it was simple drawing, it overwhelmed my sense of dread and despair. Okay, back up. Drain the septic tank, remembering my past. Planet symbol. A symbol on the floor. All right. I was too disturbed by now to think straight, but I knew something cardinal matter would be possible only after gaining access to the other section of the building. 1 a.m.
Psst. Hey.
Oh, hey, Lenny.
Lenny, what are you doing here?
I was cleaning the showers, and I heard something. What were you doing inside that cell?
I saw something very strange. I can't explain it yet. However, a picture is beginning to form in my head, but there's still a lot I don't understand.
Maybe I can help you.
You can? Please tell me how, Lenny. I'm growing more and more desperate by the minute.
I have a key. I took it a long time ago, before they released us from the Institute, around the time of the event.
A key for what?
Can I trust you?
Of course you can, Lenny. And I trust you as well.
All right. This is the key to Dr. Hawthorne's office.
Ooh.
He knew things. There was chaos all around, and nobody saw me when I took the key and locked his office.
Dr. Hawthorne? Of course. Ebis Baker mentioned him in one of her recordings. He was quite close to the head director, right?
Yes. He kept secrets inside his office. You should look inside.
Thanks, Lenny. This is hugely helpful indeed.
Oh, one more thing. I was never able to enter the head director's office. None of the keys I took while cleaning worked. I think Hawthorne kept that key with him.
So Hawthorne's office may lead me to Hanwell's office? Interesting. Well, here we go.
Here's the key. And good luck.
Okay, so he's cleaning the showers? Well, he's not here. I did want to speak to Lenny, but oh well. What happened to Bruno? I wonder. Julia's not here anymore either. Maybe they all left. All right. Finally, as if to foreshadow hideous revelation awaiting inside, the first drop of rain began to fall when I trespassed into Dr. Hawthorne's office. It seemed like no one else had to be in here. Confrontation in psychiatric rumor among those acquainted with the institute founder insinuated that Walter Hanwell's seemingly friendly, almost fatherly demeanor worked against him when it came to achieving his own adherent goals. It is speculated that this is the reason he chose to partner with Dr. Hawthorne, who soon proved to have more manipulative, ruthless ways of managing Hanwell Mental Institute. Over time, the grisly detail of Dr. Hawthorne's practice began to surface. Many colleagues were horrified, others who knew him well less so. Testimonies hold that Hawthorne often engaged in heated quarrels with other staff members in the institute. Nurses who chose to remain anonymous claimed that medical instruments previously thought to be lost would appear scattered around the office. While it's not unusual for physicians to work with dangerous tools such as scissors and scalpels, it's far more common to find them mishandled in unsterilized environment. Nonetheless, this particular form of misconduct in Dr. Hawthorne's career could not be confirmed and was dismissed as malicious gossip from disgruntled employees. Dubious story from patients secretly taken to his office late at night have not been verified either. Ah, Mr. Hawthorne, you seem to be an asshole of utmost importance. If I remember, something must be in his trash can. I'm afraid my colleague Anne has elected to take an inferior direction in her career. I try to be open-minded while considering new ideas, but my goodwill doesn't extend so as far as to resorting to shortcuts when it comes to advancement of healing arts. As much as I can fathom the notion of integral approach, contemplating the impact of emotion on our behavior, biology is definite. Our physical body reacts to physical impulses. We could spend ages accessing the mind response to the kind words, but ultimately it is the configuration of our pathogens, I think, that matters. One cannot possibly identify the subcortical disorder by means of conversation. A direct stimulus of self will always ensure the path of success when dealing with an obvious alteration to the brain. Yet, Ebersberg insists on her holistic approach, which inevitably devolves into waste of time. Our society is crumbling, swift action necessary, and in case of the establishment, we are also spending valuable resources which are dwindling every day on our theories. Since I was hired at Hanwell Mental Institute, I have had good fortune to work with various unique patients, investing a great deal of time in learning about their issues. Many of these are behavioral complications deeply rooted in their mind without a clear solution. Miserable subjects exhibiting a de-biased attitude, who couldn't possibly fit in the world of civilized man. I find value in dedicating efforts to those without real hope. Patient unable to produce a single neurotransmission that results in meaningful stream of thought, productive to society, but phony misfit who merely demand attention. The paranoid, the lonely, who confuse the cacophony of modern life, assaulting our senses each day with actual mental problem. Edenberg can fritter her hours away as much as she wants. My issue is the money involved. In the end, our existence is biological incident. It is glorious expression of a genetic material that confers meaning to our lives and only try to tried and proven way to deal with the ailments of our bodies is via practice of standard medicine, and thus a scattered brain can only be fixed by physical means. I see. Physical and mental. Yeah. Wary as I am about recording such notes on paper, Walter insists that we thoroughly document these experiments for the benefit of our research. It's true that the process of writing in the journal allows one to more efficiently collect thoughts and ideas and make sense of them. However, I'll have to strengthen the security measures to begin with. I've asked janitorial staff to refrain from cleaning my office. At first, we tried straightforward question. What did they see? Could they hear any sounds? How large is the chamber? Yet they seemed to have no recollection of the encounter. Next, we followed with a set of more specific inquiries. What is the being inhabiting the chamber? Does it look like an animal? Can you describe its shape? Did it move? Nothing worked. Their minds are completely blank, as if the moment was erased from their memories. However, there's no question that whatever happened inside the chamber proves a severe reaction in them. The procedure is rudimentary, to say the least, but effective. We try to rope and around each patient's waist and push them inside, resisting the temptation to gaze beyond the threshold with all our might. It's hard to tell from our vantage point next to the doorway that transpires in the interior, but we don't sense any movement. Apparently, the patients still remain still or are paralyzed even. After a few minutes, we firmly pull the rope and haul them out. The bruises are inevitable as they hit the ground, but there's no way of doing this. They don't react to any stimulation while in that chamber. Walter then uses a device to lock the strange door. He's far more knowledgeable than me on such esoteric matters. We believe that our patient experienced an unbearable fear. Our initial guess that they were becoming paralyzed was correct after all. It's like they shut down the presence of the blasphemous form before them. The human brain is such a marvelous organ. Even their deeply damaged minds react to protect them when they are in danger. As we drag them out of the ancient room, we can discern an expression of absolute dread on their faces. Insane or not, the human emotion are still the same, yet they return to their old self shortly afterward as we drive them back upstairs. Now I understand what we must do. The goal is to instill fear. Their minds are clearly processing the visual formation. The theory is that if we were able to reproduce the condition of the encounter, we should be able to recover details about it. Even if one patient is unable to describe it all, we could piece together a more accurate picture from the multiple recollections. Our current approach is savage. We subject them to extreme situations and hope to prompting a reaction. I'm not proud of the blatantly beating someone like some goon, but the promise of the knowledge and purpose concealed in the chamber is too powerful and supersedes my dignity. However, these methods aren't working. They react to pain, then cry and scream, but they don't do anything else. It's not true fear. We are not replicating the condition well enough. This afternoon, I spoke with Ebersberg about the regression she's observing in Group E. Of course, I had to play the fool, and her instant babbling formed an idea in my mind. For instance, is pyrophobia. The mere thought of fire or talking about it makes him tremble in fear. Attenberg recalled an incident during one of a therapy session in which a patient casually said something random about firefighters, and it instantly became agitated, tears rolling down his face. Following this revelation, I took him to the boiler room. An incandescent red glow from the incinerator shadow flickering on the wall, in the intense heat emanating from every corner of the room, caused a wild reaction in him. I proceeded to question him about the encounter, and finally actual detail emerged. He simply said, "Big is not enough. More stimulation is required." Further efforts have involved in more extreme measures. Simply placing the gas burner in front of him provoked a state of shock, not unlike what we summarize occurs within the walls of that room. Poor soul, it can't grasp that an industrial incinerator is far more dangerous than a small laboratory burner, but who am I to judge his emotion? However, the state of fear wouldn't allow me to press on. He didn't respond to any of my inquiry, just kept silently staring at the flame, so I moved the burner closer to his chest. Leveraging their fear is indeed the key. We managed to obtain much more operation from these new sessions than from all our previous efforts. A picture is beginning to form. JC afraid of dark, LH brittle bones, RB sexual act, BL denigration. Yeah, no, this is all Cthulhu related. There's a room down there that houses a being of unbridled horror. Then this key. What is this key? I didn't read it. Fuck. Director's office. The key, which according to Lenny would unlock. Yeah, sure. Keyring that I taken from the security room. Okay, I found another key though. Doesn't tell you what it does. Abuse of patients. My research veiled a shocking fact. The most powerful people in charge in the institute had committed wild acts of abuse amongst the patient, possibly the patients of Group E, including me. What did they seek so desperately? Okay. Anything else here? There's a reel over there that I can't grab. Now I can.
This is the next subject. Is the recording device turned on? Yes, we may proceed. Keep it quiet. Leave it to me. Hello, Leonard. Do you remember me? I'm Dr. Hawthorne.
What do you want?
Well, you may not remember this, but yesterday you went inside a place, a big room. We need to know what happened in there. What did you see?
I don't remember.
You need to make a big effort to remember, Lenny, or unpleasant things may happen.
There was a tunnel, but not ours. Things looked different. The smell, oh, such a bad smell. And then, no.
What happened next, Lenny?
At the end of the tunnel, I entered a room. Oh, my head was in pain. So much pain.
Describe that room for me.
I don't want to go back. I don't want to remember.
Describe that room. Now.
It's so large. The walls are strange, with shapes I've never seen, and there's a glow everywhere. And in the center,
What is at the center of the room?
no!
What did you see?
My head is pounding.
Think. Think. Remember.
No.
Hawthorne. Use that. You must remember, Lenny, for our sakes. What did you see in the room? Keep going. I'll turn off the recorder until he's ready to speak again.
Oh, those bastards cracked his ankle. The doctor had made a startling discovery in the basement area by pure chance while conducting a illegal digging operation, taking advantage of the patient no less. Although what it was impossible to discern at this point. Explore, play the Hawthorne reel. Well, I think there isn't anything else to do here. There doesn't seem to be a trash can here. Alright, I already read that. So the mysterious burns on Hodgson and bruises and Lenny's fractured ankle all were caused by Hawthorne. They were trying to make them experience fear, whatever their fear were, again and again and in greater quantities so they could remember what happened in that room. Whatever the room they found in the tunnels below. Yeah, this is Lovecraft, alright, let's go. Interesting. Also, I think I have the key to Hawthorne's office as well. There's an artifact down there in the drain that is locked. I do have hydrochloric acid, but I don't think that's gonna do anything. Where the fuck did I go? Why did I come out here? I wonder if Dr. Miller is still in the room. Of course he's not here anymore. Dr. Miller was no longer working in the laboratory. Where he had gone. All of them have disappeared, kind of. Julia, Bruno, everyone is gone. Yeah, they might have gone inside the tunnel. Now, how, you may ask, is an actual mystery here. But I'm certain they might be inside there. Yep, 2 a.m. At last, I found myself in the heart of the Institute Director's office. Was I going to find inside the answer I was desperately seeking? Well, guys, I'm gonna stop here. I'm sure next part we are gonna finish the entire game. Hopefully. I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.